for seasons in, and Daemon Targaryen and Aemond Targaryen have still never faced each other on Dragonback. Not once. Every time a show has hinted at this fight, it's cut away, and that's not an accident. Look at what just happened at the end of Season 3. Aegon has every reason in the world to execute his own brother. Aemond tried to replace him. He nearly succeeded. And Aegon raises his sword and stops. Why? Because in his own words, Aemond is his strongest ally for what's coming. That's not a throwaway line. That's the show telling you who the final commander on Team Green is going to be for the rest of the war. Now look at Team Black. Rhaenyra is unraveling. She's killed a Septon, she's turned on her own daughter, and the finale ends with Helaena dead because of her paranoia, not because of the enemy. The Queen isn't winning this war through leadership anymore. Someone else has to actually finish it. And there's only one person left on that side capable of doing it, Daemon. That's the setup. Two commanders, each the last competent war leader on their side, each riding one of the two most dangerous dragons left alive, Caraxes and Vhagar, the Blood Wyrm and the Old One. And they have never crossed paths in the air. Think about why that's strange. Aemond already has a history with Daemon's family. Vhagar is the dragon that killed Lucerys, Rhaenyra, and Daemon's son in Season 1. That death sent Daemon into a guilt spiral that shaped his entire arc for 2 more seasons. And yet the person responsible has never had to answer to Daemon directly. Every confrontation between these two families has gone through other people. Through Luke, through Rhaenyra, through Alicent. The direct account has never been settled. That the Chekhov's gun the show has been holding for 3 seasons. And Condal has now confirmed Season 4 is the final season, and that it's even bigger than what we just saw. There's no more room to keep delaying it. If the Dance of the Dragons is going to end, this is the fight it ends on. Here's the part people miss when they picture the final battle. It doesn't have to be a fair fight, and it probably won't be. Vhagar is older, bigger, and more experienced than Caraxes. In a straight dragon-on-dragon confrontation, Vhagar has won worse mismatches before. But Daemon isn't a straight fighter. He spent 4 seasons winning through unpredictability, recklessness, and knowing exactly when to break the rules of engagement. If this fight happens the way the show has built every other major confrontation, it won't be decided by which dragon is stronger. It'll be decided by which rider is willing to go further. And that's what makes this genuinely uncertain, not just dramatic. Because Daemon has already shown he's willing to nearly get himself killed to end this war. Remember, he led the charge into Tumbleton himself. And Aemond has shown, over and over, that he'll trade almost anything for the throne he thinks should be his. 2 riders like that, in the air, at the end of a war, neither side is winning cleanly. That's not a fight where you can predict the outcome from strength alone. What we can say with more confidence is when it happens, not early. The show has spent 3 seasons using Aemond and Aegon's relationship and Daemon and Rhaenyra's as the emotional backbone of the story. Pull either of those threads too early, and there's nothing left to build the final season on. Which means this fight is almost certainly the climax, not a mid-season set piece. The finale of everything. So here's where it actually leaves us. Season 4 has one job left. Finish the Dance of the Dragons. And the 2 people the show has spent 4 years quietly positioning as the last capable commanders on each side have never once faced each other directly. That's not a coincidence. A show this deliberate makes by accident. If the writers are saving that confrontation for exactly the moment it means the most, do you think Daemon walks away from it? Or has the show been setting up his ending since the moment Vhagar took Luke out of the sky? There's another detail worth sitting with. Every major death in this show so far has landed on the people who trusted the wrong person at the wrong moment. Luke trusting the storm would protect him. Rhaenys trusting the malaise could outrun 3 dragons. Helaena trusting a system that had already decided to sacrifice her. Daemon and Aemond are both far too experienced for that kind of mistake. Which means if this fight ends in a death, it probably won't come from a tactical error. It'll come from character. From exactly the flaw the show has spent 4 seasons building into each of them. For Daemon, that flaw is guilt turning into recklessness. He spent 2 seasons trying to outrun what happened to Luke, and the show has a pattern of punishing its characters for the thing they're running from, not the thing they're afraid of. For Aemond, The flaw is pride mistaken for control. He believes discipline makes him untouchable, and every time that belief gets tested, something in his world breaks a little more. Put those two flaws in the same sky, and you don't get a clean battle. You get two people who each think they've already won the mental part of the fight, and only one of them is right. There's also a quieter possibility worth mentioning, because the theory side of this has to stay honest. The show could avoid a direct duel entirely. Connell has shown before that he'd rather let political consequences land than stage the expected fan service fight. If Season 4 chooses that path, this confrontation might happen through betrayal or maneuvering rather than fire in the sky. That would be a very different kind of ending, quieter and arguably crueler. Either way, the tension the show has built doesn't resolve itself. Something has to give. And with only one season left to do it in, House of the Dragon doesn't have the runway to keep circling this fight the way it has for the last 3 years. The real question isn't just who wins. It's whether the show even lets them meet at all, or whether the ending is something neither side saw coming.